Maybe this was God's way of kicking me in the butt so I could actually work on my YouTube channel. Hi, this is April. Have you ever shared a personal goal or a dream with your friends and family and you expected them to be so encouraging and excited for you, but you found out that you were met with skepticism or even indifference? That's what happened to me a few years ago when I started this YouTube channel. I had followed in my mom's footsteps as a medical biller, starting at the age of 17, and I'd been doing it for 27 years, and I really wasn't happy. The stress of trying to get really expensive claims paid was grueling, and being a creative person, I felt really stifled by codes and spreadsheets and numbers. I became a medical biller because it seemed like the only reasonable job path for me. It's what my mom had done, and I was able to get hired without any kind of a college degree. So a few years ago, I was starting to get really burned out, and I had this dream of becoming a content creator and being in business for myself instead of having to do a 9-to-5 job. When I started to upload some videos on the weekends, I was sharing them out with my friends and family and asking, "Did you watch it? Did you watch it yet?" And I was often met with the response of, "Oh, no, not yet." And I couldn't quite understand why people weren't super excited to watch my content. And around that same time, I wrote a children's book called Wallace Finds a Home about an unwanted pit bull. And when I excitedly tried to share it with my friend, she said that she didn't like pit bulls and too bad I couldn't come up with an idea that could sell. So I was feeling the lack of encouragement, but I kept uploading videos and I published my children's book because these are things that I really love. Even if I wasn't going to make any money off of my ventures, it was still a wonderful creative outlet. So I continued to make my videos and do my writing on the side, and I tried my best not to force it on my friends and family. As much as I really wanted to leave the medical billing industry and work on my videos full-time, I needed the money, and I didn't have enough courage to make the break. So one day, things got really ugly at work. They had hired a new director who lived in another state, and overnight my workload got doubled. And I confronted her and I said, "I just can't do this amount of work." And she went to HR and they gave me an ultimatum. They said if I wouldn't do that amount of work, I could resign. And I said, "I do not resign." And that's how I ended up being terminated. So after a stressful exit interview, I happened to make the comment that maybe this was a kick in the butt I needed from God to be able to work on my YouTube channel. The director typed up those very words, and she used it as evidence against me in the unemployment hearing to say that I had planned to quit all along, which wasn't the case. I didn't quit. I was basically forced out after they doubled the workload. The judge at the unemployment hearing threw out all of their evidence because they didn't bother to show up. But I did keep that printout as a memento to remind me of that day. So, of course, after I was terminated, I was terrified. I had no income coming in at all, and I had absolutely zero desire to make any kind of videos. For about 6 months, I barely uploaded anything. I was so depressed I could hardly function. I kept applying to jobs, getting rejection after rejection. I knew getting monetized on YouTube would be a real long shot, but it was still my ultimate dream. But one day the creative spark was reignited and I started to really take my YouTube channel seriously. And on my camera channel, I accidentally stumbled into a niche about reacting to other camera channels, and it somehow worked. And I was invited to join the YouTube Partner Program, which was my ultimate goal this whole time. And when I think back about this whole process, I really do feel that God opened a door for me. So if you have a dream and it feels like nobody really understands it, just keep quietly working and ask God to open a door for you, and anything is possible. I did have one really encouraging friend who would watch my videos, and she said, "Why couldn't I be a success on YouTube?" She changed careers later in life and became an RN, all while taking care of a disabled husband and raising 2 small kids. So look for a really good friend like that who can listen to you and build you up. If you like this video, give it a like. Consider subscribing for more news and reviews from a Christian perspective. God bless.